Broadcasting live from the mixed up world of Hyrule, this is the Link to the Past Randomizer tournament. Hello everybody, my name is Dr. Bobtastic, and joining me today on commentary is Jay Misher, and we've got a race.
Absolutely, we do. Pleasure to be here. Looking forward to an exciting standard randomized swords mode race.
Yep. So, what do you think we're going to see from the Uncle's Weapon today?
Ooh, I know Michael K was practicing those bomb strategies earlier. Hoping we get some of those.
Well, we got bow strats, so that'll do.
Definitely, definitely a lot easier on our runners.
And a bomb is the first thing in the Green Guard's drop pool, so assuming Loonycloud gets a drop at some point, this will not be a problem for the rest of the dungeon.
Yeah, definitely good news for our runners there. You want to get at least one bomb during the escape sequence to open the bombable wall in the sewers. Get those 3 chests in there.
Alright, so we got so our sprites today. I learned the name of the sprite on the left is Unica from I don't know how you pronounce this. It's Wise or E's origin. And on the right we've got the Inkling girl from Splatoon. Turns out the Michael here on the right is a pretty big fan of Splatoon.
Yeah, saw he does some speed running of Splatoon 2, which is pretty cool.
And apparently, we may get to see his love of form over function here in a little bit, depending on what sort of male upgrades we get. But we'll see.
Absolutely. So, with the standardized randomized swords run, there's a hammer. So, what I was about to say is actually nullified due to that. But generally speaking, you do have to watch your resources in this mode, because running out of arrows would require our runners to save and quit or take a death to get a little bit of a refill.
Right. The arrows you start with once you get the bow is 30, and that's usually plenty. So Michael here decides to use arrow strats to take down the guard. Loonycloud going to use a pot and 2 arrows. And neither of them switching to the hammer, which would only take 2 hits, but that's a whole, menu time.
Yeah, absolutely. And both our runners finding the bomb they were looking for, so won't have to do too much farming during this sequence.
Yes, both of our runners here have in fact won their first match, so looking to hit the 2-0 record here today, but only one of them is going to pull it off.
Yeah, and loss won't be super detrimental. There's going to be 7 rounds of the Swiss stage, and all the runners who are 5 and 2 and up will move on. So loss here won't be crushing, but it can get pretty tight quickly for our runners.
In this particular tournament, you have a couple of losses to give, so not a real problem. Loonycloud going the right way this time.
As opposed to the wrong way?
No, as opposed to the left way.
Ah. Well, Looney going to be following shortly behind Michael K here. And into the sewers.
Okay.
So it looks like Looney's... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
We were guaranteed to find the small key here in that chest. Gotta have some way of getting through this door.
Yeah, and Looney looks like he's going to be doing a little bit more farming, maybe trying to see if he can find more bombs. Just so he has to do a little bit less searching around for them once he gets out of here.
Yeah, additional bombs coming out of escape never hurt nobody. Except for maybe the cheat. Alright. So nothing over in the left-hand side. Pretty sure we saw the map at some point. Maybe not.
I cannot remember, but we'll see if Michael has been counting his items and was looking for that map.
Yeah, it was in Zelda's room. That makes sense. Oh ho! Very important item in the sanctuary chest. At least if you want to see where you're going.
Yeah, and I'm sure our runners they're probably comfortable with dark rooms, but it's always nice to get that off your mind, not have to worry about those.
Yeah, and those extra 5 that extra lamp kind of gives you some idea of things that might be in logic as well.
Interestingly, Michael gonna head straight for Kakariko, find
Whoa!
the boots.
It's like he's got a sixth sense telling him where those boots are. I mean, he doesn't, but still.
See what's on Lumberjack Ledge here.
So I can understand what Michael's doing here. Finds the boots, and then he's going to go ahead and head directly up to the Lost Woods here to check what's here, and then over to Lumberjack Cave. Because the boots kind of give you this indication that it might be useful.
Yeah, you wonder if maybe he was hoping to find a bomb drop from that tavern chest, but the boots do give him the ability to get back up to this area very quickly.
And he also doesn't have the money to buy the bombs yet. That's probably another thing that he was hoping for. Well, there's just some bombs.
Looking over Loonycloud's side, also must have found that tree pole there, so both of our runners will have a healthy amount of bombs to finish off Kakariko.
Yeah, no problem. So with the lamp and the boots, the likelihood that Aghanim is required just went up quite a bit. The hammer brings it down, but it's kind of up in the air.
For sure. With the Lumberjack Ledge being just a big 20, this lessened the likelihood a little bit, but we'll see if we start finding, the cape or swords. Could point us in that direction.
Well, it turns out all the bombs you ever needed were here in Blind's hut with the 10 bomb drop. Inside also a bottle with a fairy. So that will give them access to the sick kid while heading through CAC. A much more efficient route than you would take otherwise.
Yeah, for sure. The more stuff you can knock out here in Kakariko at the start, the better.
So, speaking of this, coming out of Escape, you have the lamp and the bow. Are you going to Eastern Palace at some point? I think you are.
I would definitely expect to see a map check here from our runners, and if Eastern Palace is a crystal, I mean, I would be heavily incentivized to head over there right away.
Looks like on our tracker, Eastern is already marked as a crystal, so it's possible that we had a map check, and I just didn't see it.
I must have missed that on either Michael or Looney's side.
So that's why we've only got 2 of the 3 things marked, because it was the fastest map check ever.
Yeah, and
Oh,
it might have
boy.
been immediately after finding that lamp. They were just specifically looking to see what Eastern was. So
That makes sense. But we've got a lift upgrade, so that just puts us Moon Pearl away from Dark World access. Now, we all know that the Moon Pearl could still be on the pyramid, which would require Aghanim, but it's pretty unlikely at this point.
still a lot of locations left to check. All of the South Shore area, Eastern.
And although we have the boots, there's nothing good on the library. Michael will be checking the race game. Turns out also a big 20, and that's going to prompt a save and quit for this first section of the game.
It'll be interesting to see where he goes. Could go to South Shore, could just beeline it for Eastern. He has everything he needs to complete that dungeon, so.
I'm not going to lie, Eastern's Palace seems like a pretty good play at the moment. However, there are a non-trivial number of items down here at South Shore, so I don't blame anyone for taking either of these routes. And it looks like we are getting both of them.
Pretty cool divergence here early on. So we'll see whose routing pays off in the end. Where's that Moon Pearl hiding?
I imagine we'll find out soon enough. Getting a little bit of a stutter over on the left side, but just in time to see the 3 big 20s in the back of Sahasrah's closet. Just the best. You hit the trifecta.
What was he doing keeping all of those in 3 separate chests? That seems inefficient.
What, do you keep all your money in one chest? That seems like a good way to get it all stolen.
Yeah, unfortunately it doesn't work out for Sahasrahla in this case, but...
Yep.
Okay, switching over to bomb strats for its mini Moldorms. They can be tough to hit with arrows, surprisingly.
Yeah, I find them to be much easier to hit from below than from, like, left to right. At least in this cave. There's the first sword, and the second!
Oh boy.
And the Quake Medallion. And +5 bombs.
Finding those 2 swords, that means Aga is in play for the moment. Still a lot of locations checked for that pearl, but it's kind of something you don't want to be seeing. As nice as having those swords is.
We're going to get the Ice Rod Cave check. The second sword does mean that Aghanim is in fact on the table, as stated by Alvin in the chat.
Yeah, the Eastern play hasn't turned up much for Loonycloud at this point, but the good thing for Loony is that she's going to be able to finish this off, and this is going to be a crystal for him. So even if this doesn't pan out, and there's her 3rd sword.
Wow.
We'll be able to get a crystal out of this, so not a waste of time at all.
So, we're going to get the crystal. The only regret you might have about this is not being able to combine it with Palace of Darkness if you went to the Dark World first and had the mirror. But we don't have the mirror, so it doesn't really matter. Meanwhile, Michael is doing the fake flipper trick. I think I also saw him potentially store that Boots water walk. So he may be trying to go for the ledge item. Got an additional bottle. Oh, that's a no.
Yeah, I think at this point, without the Moon Pearl, heading over to Zora's Domain is only really going to net you. Doesn't have enough money for King Zora, so even if you water walk, it would just be for one item.
And it turns out that Eastern Palace is the 6 crystal, Tower of Hera is the 4, and Desert Palace is the green pendant.
So definitely even nicer to get this out of the way now, because it does mean once you are able to complete the 5 crystal dungeon, you'll be able to check Pyramid Fairy.
There we go. Michael is setting up that spin speed. Also going to head into Sahasrah's hut and get a giant ball of disappointment.
Some birthday money, if you will.
Yeah, Sonny, don't spend it all in one place.
Doesn't even come with a gift card, though.
And that is actually what Sahasrahla sounds like in my head.
I don't know. Seems accurate to me. Meanwhile, let's see if Looney can get the quick kill here. Not quite, but very nicely done in the Armos fight.
Strangely enough, he does seem to show up in my head more often than not, because he does use that telepathy occasionally. Alright, so at this point, if you're Loonycloud, I mean, you're probably going for South Shore because you haven't done that yet. But after that, you might be thinking Aghanim, or you may also decide to head up Death Mountain, see what you can find up there.
Yeah, at the moment, there's not a lot of runners can do up on Death Mountain without the mirror or hookshot. So it'll be interesting to see what they decide to do.
So there's 2 items up there that could be the Moon Pearl. There is one over in Agina's cave that can be the Moon Pearl, and there's the pyramid.
But interestingly now, as our runners kind of overlap on each other here, both runners will have Tempered Sword by about 20 minutes.
And that's going to be a relief, because you really don't want to go into like Ganon's Tower still holding the Master Sword or the Fighter's Sword, unless you have to.
Absolutely. It's also going to make their lives a lot easier when they end up fighting bosses like Mothula or Argus. Definitely much better to have that Tempered Sword than it is to have Master of Fighter.
I certainly don't mind Tempered for Trinix either. Potentially Vitreous if you don't have the silvers yet. Tempered just makes your life infinitely better.
Interesting. Looks like Looney is going to be skipping over Ice Rod Cave and doing any fake flippering. He's going to head straight to Death Mountain, most likely.
Yep. Also, we may get a Bonk Rocks check, which I did not even consider until just now.
Yeah, you're so used to getting those boots super late. It can be easy to forget this spot, but definitely if you're heading this direction, you want to check this right now.
Yep, so the Bonk Rocks check followed by Death Mountain seems pretty solid to me. That's 3 whole items and basically the highest chest density left for Loonycloud right now. Because all that's left is Agina, Ice Rod, and Pyramid.
Yeah, and assuming that Loonycloud doesn't find the Moon Pearl up here, it'll be interesting to see if he decides to go straight for Aga. Because, like you said, there's really only one-off locations left at this point. Pretty much just Aga in his cave, so...
Alright, old man has the Moon Pearl! There we go. Aghanim dodged.
Yeah, Looney will just quickly check up here, make sure there's nothing else left to find, and then we'll probably just immediately head for the Dark World.
I wonder if there's any chance of a Spike Cave check. Probably not.
No real way to get to it as of now without the Cane of Burna or the Cape.
Yeah, it's not in logic. And I don't think you can actually make it on 1 fairy and 5 hearts. But... lamp is not guaranteed in standard mode. No. The lamp could be a lot of different places. It just happened to be in Sanctuary today.
Absolutely, yeah. You do get the guaranteed light cone for the escape sequence, but once you have finished that off, that actually goes away.
So we're getting the Hype Cave check from Loonycloud. Let's hope Michael does not get jebaited into Aga Tower.
So Hype Cave, decidedly not hype.
Whole lot of diddly squat today.
Now we did get a very quick map check from Loonycloud. I believe that pod is our 5 crystal.
Wow, Pod Eastern 5-6 with the bow starting out. How does that feel?
Probably feels pretty good because if I'm not mistaken, Loonycloud is going to be able to finish that right here, right now.
Even within the logic, like you have hammer, bow, lamp. That's it. That's all you need.
Just enough money to get in from the extortionist monkey. And yeah, be able to complete it and go check Pyramid Fairy pretty much instantly.
Yeah, that's why I definitely agree with the decision to start from south of Link's house and go straight to Hype Cave and then go over here. It's a very strong play, and it can lead into like a Pyramid Catfish check together with Pyramid Fairy check, which is hilarious this early.
Yeah, just a really efficient routing right now from Loonycloud. I'm impressed by what I'm seeing so far. Luckily on Michael's end, he did go for Death Mountain rather than getting tricked into going up to Aga's Tower, so he'll be following shortly behind Loonycloud here.
Yeah, very nice. Now, Loonycloud finds out that the first chest in Pod does not contain a small key, therefore will be forced to go down the bow-locked section.
Yeah, the really nice thing about finding the bow this early is not having to search around for it, scramble, try to find it. And with the 5-6 crystals being both of our bow-required dungeons, pretty nice for our runners there.
Alright, and Loonycloud gonna find at least one key over here for sure, and probably a second.
We have a little bit of route divergence.
How about no?
Wow, really nice find.
Michael decides to head up to the standard Dark World access portal in Kakariko Village for the inevitable Skullwoods Thieves Town area check. And
Yeah,
we'll be going to Skullwoods first, looks like.
Yeah, just gonna check those items. With this item setup, I would say I prefer the route Loonycloud took, just because with only Power Gloves and Hammer, getting over to this portal can be really kind of a pain. But we'll see if Skullwoods ends up paying off for Michael here.
So we expected at least one key in these two chests, the big key chest and the drop-down chest, and we got both. So we're taking care of business here in Pod before we get to all the stuff in the back. Unfortunately, or fortunately, one of the important things was in the front, and that was the hookshot. We also found the Bombos medallion over on Michael's screen.
Could be very important. Misery Mire is one of our crystals, so we'll have to wait and see what is required to get in there, but having 2 of the 3 medallions at this point is definitely a load off your mind.
Also, Bombos opening up Ice Palace once we get the mitts. Yeah, it looked like Swamp is a pendant, so the mirror might not even be necessary. But the way the mirror control is by showing up. That would force our runners to go to Swamp, and who wants to do that?
This early? Only masochists want to.
I'm feeling big key in this chest. Nope.
Oh, it looks like it's going to end up being in the dark maze.
Ooh, and Loonycloud takes a beating. There is a fairy.
Yeah, fortunate. I think he got caught. He wanted to use the hammer coming out of that doorway to get those turtles out of the way, but can't use items in doorways, unfortunately.
Michael uses the fairy in the overworld, getting just surrounded by those pterodactyls.
Yeah, those things are the worst. They deal 3 hearts of damage to Green Male Link, so really, really nasty enemies.
Yeah, green mail is kind of the worst. Oh, and the best item forever in the big chest of Pod. Not really. It's the single arrow and no one cares.
Yeah, Loonycloud gonna have to make the long walk back. We sometimes see runners set up death warps, but at full life, Loonycloud's just gonna opt to head back to Harmless Hell Way and loop around that way.
Yeah. Our runners are in what we call glass cannon mode. They can basically destroy everything with their offense power, but their defense power is suspect at best.
Yeah, this is definitely scary times. Thieves Town with 6 hearts. Looney has 7 hearts at the moment. Can be a bit gets your heart pumping a little.
All right, so Michael opens Thieves Town. Gonna go ahead and check the chest game while you're at it. Anything you can get to help you out in the dungeon, certainly not opposed to that. Mushroom isn't gonna do it though.
Could be blue mail.
All right, so we get a second map check that we can actually see.
Yeah. Turtle Rock, Swamp are red-blue crystals. Pod is our number 5, or sorry, our pendants, and Pod is our 5 crystals. So
And so Loonycloud, upon finishing this dungeon, will be able to do the Pyramid Fairy check as well as the Pyramid Item and Catfish, which seems like a pretty good way to throw that all together, if you ask me. It's basically the dream to be able to do Pyramid Fairy the first time you go there.
yeah, absolutely. The sooner you can get a lot of this overworld checking out of the way efficiently, the better you end up feeling. So, sure, Loonycloud feels pretty good about the way this early stage of the seed has gone.
And there we go. Loonycloud knocks the mask off of Helmasaur. Going to do some tempered sword slashes to take down the boss itself. We'll see what he has. It's a heart container,
So
just like you normally would have.
yeah, playing very nice kill. So Pod ends up really only giving us the hook shot, but that is a very important item. So that'll open up East Death Mountain, amongst other things.
Yeah, and it looks like Loonycloud may just be going for that right now. That seems like a thing. Well, no.
Just saving and quitting to get back over to this area a little bit quicker.
Yeah, this is a faster way to get to Pyramid Fairy and all that.
Ooh, Michael needs to be careful. No longer has that fairies, so down to 1 heart here in Thieves Town. That's interesting though. So looks like our stun drop is a fairy.
That is a awesome stun drop. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, huge load off your mind. If you do end up getting low in some of these tougher dungeons, just stun an enemy, you get a fairy.
Yeah, if I had fairy stun drop, I wouldn't need my favorite item in the game.
Would that be the powder?
Yes, sir. We've got a book and a piece of heart.
Ooh, that book.
Fairy.
So desert is a green pendant, so not necessarily required to go over there, though it could have an item. Then, of course, Bombo's tablet and Ether tablet could be in play.
It's actually fairly convenient if you're planning on going back up to Death Mountain on account of, being able to get that Ether tablet while you're doing it. But it looks like Loonycloud will be going ahead and checking the area where Michael is now.
Yeah, interestingly, Loonycloud opting not to head over to Catfish. It is a little bit out of the way, and likelihood is there might be nothing over there, but be a little scary to leave those one-off locations like that.
Yeah, I believe if you leave the screen or mirror with the big bomb while it hits 0, it comes back to you.
Oh, Michael in a little bit of trouble here. Didn't quite get the scripted kill off on Blind. is
Yep.
going to end up taking a death.
Going a little bit off script there, and that just sometimes happens. Michael is going to go ahead and peace out for now.
Yeah, it's just such a scary fight once things devolve like that. And with only green mail and 7 hearts, Michael will just come back later once he's a little bit more equipped.
So yeah, Loonycloud also going to go ahead and check the items around Thieves Town before heading in, which is usually a good call. And I say this from experience because sometimes I'll check like chest game and then go straight into Thieves Town, intending to check the other 2, and then completely forget to do so afterwards.
Yeah, definitely. The high from finishing off blind and getting that dungeon done can definitely blind you a little bit.
Here you go. Michael K about to be disappointed entirely by Hype Cave.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if he heads straight for Pod. Since it is completable, it seems like the next good option for Michael.
Yeah, I always love it when the Thieves Town small key is just plain unavailable.
Yeah, I've seen some races where that has confused some of our runners, so I believe that's a relatively new addition to the logic.
I believe it came around version 27 or 28. It was right before the Key Sanity tournament kicked off.
So yeah, definitely something important to keep in mind if you're running Randomizer here in Thieves Town. That small key can just be completely inaccessible, and you're usually pretty happy for it. It just means you have one less thing to check.
I guess in theory it's accessible, but you'd have to go way out of your way.
Right,
You have to
and
like take this key right here and go pick it up. But why would you do that?
Exactly. Really, that I believe that was done just to prevent any potential soft locks from happening.
So in that update, they made it where certain chests, certain locked doors, which only lock one item, can contain the key that would open that door.
All right. Well, while we have a moment here where our runners are kind of treading ground the other already has, just want to remind everyone these runners doing an amazing job for us here, putting on a show. Definitely give them a look, give them a follow. They've been doing a fantastic job so far.
That is interesting. When the small key is in that big chest, it means that blind is hammer locked. It's very strange. That being said, we've got the hammer all day.
All right, Loonycloud moving on to his blind fight. See if he has any more luck than Michael did. And nicely done. A little bit off script, but had a little more leeway than Michael did. A little bit more hearts to play with. So very nicely done by Looney there.
Yep, well done. And we make our way out of Thieves Town. I imagine the next thing we might see is that Death Mountain check.
Yeah, not much more to check at this point. Looney still hasn't gone into Skull Woods, but I imagine he's going to be waiting for that fire rod so he can just kind of get it all out of the way at once.
We could be in a weird situation where the fire rod is, say, in Ice Palace, because that Bombos medallion was there in Skull Woods, and that would delay his dip into Skull Woods quite a bit. But for now, we've got a much higher chest density available right here in Death Mountain.
Yeah, and then Looney will also be able to route in Tower of Hera with this, so I definitely like this play.
And of course, that ether tablet on account of picking up the book, and there's Butter.
So Butter Sword, 41 minutes into a run.
Feels good, man.
I'm sure it feels very good.
There's the blue mail inside the Paradox Cave. Other than that, nothing important.
Yeah, that'll be very nice for Michael if he decides to route in Death Mountain immediately here after finishing Pod. And, you know, Pyramid Fairy and all that.
All right, so we come out onto the summit of Death Mountain. We get to see bombs on the floating island, always a good thing to check while you get the chance.
Yep, still no way to get to Dark World Death Mountain, but Loonycloud will be heading over here, checking Ether Tablet, and then clearing out Tower of Hera.
All right, so Ether Tablet today, the mirror.
Oh, that's huge.
Wow, so that early access to Pyramid Fairy making a very interesting chain here today.
Yeah, with Swamp being our one of our pendants, you know, not 100% that mirror is specifically required to complete this seed, but you definitely want it to be able to open up various item locations.
You know what was 100% required for this seed, though? Mirrorless Pod.
Yeah. Definitely. So that early Eastern Palace play not hurting our runners too much, since the mirror was locked behind Pod regardless.
Yeah, it turns out it actually helped out quite a bit, because Eastern was the other 5-6. So sometimes the play you make into Eastern doesn't seem like it's paying out, but it does anyway. But just much, much later. There's the red mail in Tower of Hera. And the flute. Good lord.
The flute very much required for Misery Mire. So, yeah, Death Mountain. Definitely the play to make.
Now, the only downside here, we don't have the Titan's Mitts. So we can't go and check the rest of Death Mountain while we're up here. But there is still Spiral Cave that we haven't checked. That is in Logic. There we go. Loonycloud pulling off the dash on the floor below Moldorm. Now it's time for everybody's favorite Troll Dorm. Troll Dorm.
Troll Dorm hanging out on the left side of this platform.
Like
being a
do.
jerk.
The great thing about having Butter Sword against Trolldorm is there is literally no chance of putting him into his super speed state.
Yep.
Like, you could poke him 3 times and he would die.
Absolutely. And Loonycloud making short work of Trolldorm there. While Michael's going to be heading to Helmstor King here in just a moment.
All right, looks like we're getting a Spiral Cave check. Hobo had a bottle with a B.
All right, what will Loonycloud find here in Spiral Cave? Ether.
Ooh, the Ether medallion, potentially important. Now we know where all the medallions are.
Our runners do not, though, so it's interesting. I imagine Michael will find his Ether medallion probably quicker than Loonycloud will. Assuming Loonycloud is saving Skullwoods for once he has the Fire Rod.
Interestingly enough, Loonycloud taking a short break to get his bearings. Try to figure out what's exactly going on here. Perhaps having controller issues.
He's back with us. Perhaps. Spoke too soon. That's all right. Meanwhile, we'll wait for Loonycloud. Michael's going to be doing his Pyramid Fairy check. I'll be interested to see if he decides to route Catfish in with this.
Yeah. So there we go. I hear the sound of a controller disconnecting and reconnecting. Let's hope that Loonycloud can make this work. There we go. For all we know, Loonycloud may be on keyboard now, but we'll see. Interestingly enough, Loonycloud is headed this direction. I think we're going to see like a Grove Cave check and potentially a Bombos tablet check.
Yeah, that would seem to be what's happening here. Check the K45 with that mirror now. Be able to, check the Grove as well.
Right, and he also has not even done Stumpy or Digging Game.
We'll see if this pays out for him. Meanwhile, Michael heading up Death Mountain.
Just bombs in the Grove Cave, leading to potential over at Digging Game. He's got exactly enough rupees for it.
Yeah, just barely. He will be getting a nice return on that, as I believe Digging Game was 300 rupees. But once he is done with that, that's going to be pretty much it for this area.
All right, Michael picks up Butter. And getting ready to pick up the blue mail here in Paradox Cave.
Interesting to see what Loonycloud's plan is at this point. He's headed back into Kakariko now. Maybe he's gonna check Skull Woods.
There is that possibility.
Could also check Graveyard Ledge over here. So
Right. Graveyard Ledge and King's Tomb are on the table because of that mirror. Oh, are we going to get a pedestal check? We're getting a pedestal check, ladies and gentlemen.
with Turtle Rock being one of our pendants, that does. Oh, fairy in a bottle.
It is a fairy in a bottle, yes.
I was going to say, Turtle Rock being one of our pendants does lower the likelihood, but yeah, just fairy in a bottle. Not going to need to be getting that today.
I think the only other required items that could have been there, or the only other required items left could not have been on Pet. With the exception... No, you just really couldn't.
Yeah, with Swamp and Turtle Rock being our two of our pendants, a lot of required items for those dungeons, so couldn't have been anything like Flippers, Fire Rod, Ice Rod,
Cane.
Cane.
We know where Bombos is. We are getting a Skull Woods check. This is very interesting.
Yeah, so Loonycloud going to be getting his final medallion here.
Yep. That still leaves us kind of wondering where on Earth are those Titans mitts? I guess they're not on Earth. I guess they're technically in Hyrule.
Yeah, it is interesting. Just kind of looking at the remaining dungeons. Ice Palace and Misery Mire both require the mitts to be able to even access those. So, yeah, I think Loonycloud probably has the right idea by looking around these overworld locations and in Skull Woods.
Yeah, at this point, yeah, we're probably thinking could be Skull Woods, could be Graveyard Ledge, could be King's Tomb, could be Desert, and like Agina's Cave, and I think that's about it. Yeah, green pen from Desert as well.
Loonycloud hits the wall in Skull Woods, and gonna head out, check Bumper Cave, do Graveyard Ledge, do King's Tomb. Just trying to track down those mitts.
Yeah, we saw Michael expressing disapproval at the red mail because Michael just does not like the way that the squid or the platoon girl sprite looks with the red mail on.
Does take a fall to Trolldorn there, but gets him back on the second try.
Well done.
Don't forget that Loonycloud had not yet activated that flute, so he goes ahead and takes care of that right now.
Now we'll probably see those North Dark World checks. Release the Quacken. That's the best.
I need to write that one down. All right, we'll see what Loonycloud finds here on Graveyard Ledge while Michael finishes up Death Mountain, and we'll see what he plans to do from here.
Well, we've got a blue boomerang in the Graveyard Ledge. And we've got powder.
Oh man! So yet another fetch quest. Also important to note when we talk about locations where the mitts could be. Neither runners have checked Mushroom yet. And Loonycloud will do just that. But mitts could still be on Catfish. Mitts could be the King Zora item.
Alright, so we're seeing the desert check. Interestingly enough, after picking up that powder, not going straight to Magic Bat, but that's okay.
Yeah, there's just a little bit more item density here, so I think this is the sound play for Looney.
Yeah, with the book being available so early.
I thought Michael was gonna head back in and finish off blind, but decides against it. Wants to get some red potion, taking no chances.
Alright, so we've got the big key and the small key available in Desert. But the small key, of course, is boots locked. So by logic, the dungeon is boots locked, but most people would not, if they came here in go mode, they'd just be like, well, who cares? There's a bottle.
So that's item 1 of 2 here in Desert.
Hey, we know where all the bottles are.
Yeah.
The remaining ones are on Hobo and Pedestal. So, hypothetically, you find flippers right now. Do you go ice or swamp?
Well, without the mitts, they still can't get into ice. So
yeah, you're right.
I guess swamp would be my choice
swamp,
there.
Because you don't have the mitts. Because I'm a smart human being. Now,
the one thing that it could open up if they found flippers is some more of those. I think check water.
I think regardless, I'd be checking overworld locations that are flipper locked first.
I think I don't think Michael ever went over to the Zora area, so we still don't know what's in Waterfall Cave. We still don't know what's on Zora Ledge. So, flippers could open up a lot of different checks for our runners as well.
So, Loonycloud being the first to check Agina's Cave, what do we have? It's the Titan's Mitts! What?
Wow. And Agnes Cave being one of those locations that is so rarely checked early. So having an item in there is just... it's such a troll.
So that means that the Titan's Mitts have been available from the start of this game, and now basically every assumption you made about your routing is completely incorrect.
Oh, man. Well, that's rando for you. Loonycloud can head straight over to Dark Death Mountain, get all these item checks out of the way. And then I have to imagine we'll be heading to Ice Palace sooner rather than later.
Yeah, the Ice Palace play seems good. I think heading over to Mire area seems stronger to me, just because ice isn't necessarily in the logic right now.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of item checks over there. The only downside is you won't be able to complete Mystery Mire unless you find the cane somewhere around here.
I've seen Vanilla Cane way too many times. Way too many times.
Yeah, it's just such a gamble dipping into Misery Mire. If you don't find that cane, it's the worst feeling.
I still would not be surprised, however, to find Fire Rod in Ice Palace. Now, what we've got here is a magic bat check, which Loonycloud has not done. Money.
50 rupees. Loonycloud finding the silvers in Hookshot Cave.
We got silvers, we got Cape that puts Spike Cave in logic, and Piece of Heart. And Loonycloud is piecing out and actually leaving because he knows Spike Cave just got in the logic.
Yep. You want to get this out of the way while you're over here. The last thing you want is to be orphaning this spot. It's so far out of the way.
And we're making our way through Spike Cave. Looks like we should get through it no problem. Just a big 20 today. So for the most part, aside from those silver arrows, Death Mountain, total bust.
Yeah, meanwhile, Michael, I kind of like this play. He's going to be heading over here, be able to mirror turn in his mushroom. They'll be able to check Catfish and then go straight to Zora.
That's a pretty solid play. He is 11 rupees short for Zora.
It should be able to farm for that money here, but yeah, being able to get a lot of these overworld checks out all at the same time.
Well, that'll do it for the rupees. Picks up 300, buys a potion just because, now we have a surplus, and we're heading over to the Catfish Zora check.
Yeah, and Loonycloud on the opposite end of Hyrule doing some other overworld quests.
Good old Blacksmith, Peg Cave, Purple Chest. And of course, we can route in that magic bat check as well.
See what Catfish has for us today. Just some money.
It's the only 100 rupee drop in the game. Wait, are you not going to go to Zora?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, I guess he's going to do the fake flipper and take care of all those things at once.
Okay. It makes some sense. He didn't have the pearl last time he fake flippered, so he wasn't able to go check Waterfall Cave. He will be able to do that now. So yeah, no, this is fine.
Expertly dodging that fireball.
Yeah, definitely don't want to be taking a hit while fake flippering. That is an insta-kill.
We've got plus 10 arrows and bombs, so as I expected, nothing really in that cave. The flippers seem like they will be late in coming in this particular seed. Looks like
Michael
he did not even look.
Yeah, I think he's saying at this point, flippers are probably going to be so late in here, like you said, just not even going to worry about it.
In before vanilla flippers. Nope.
Just the most expensive bombs in the world.
Indeed. It did trick my eyes into thinking I was right for half a second with those bombs, and then I was like, oh wait, those aren't shaped correctly.
Nope, you cannot put those on your feet to swim.
Why not? You never done, explosion-propelled swimming? Oh my, we are about to get a lumberjack check.
Now, I believe Looney did check this earlier. Michael opted to skip it, so just a big 20 there. Here's our bombos check.
Big old 20. So like I said, I feel like Mire is a solid play at this point.
Yeah, it's starting to seem like our only option.
So Mire Shed, Checkerboard Cave, and then maybe go into Mire if you don't get enough things there.
Yeah, and then of course, Desert Palace Green Pendant. Looney opted to skip that once he got the 2 items in Desert Palace, so...
There are the flippers and a heart piece. So at that point, finding the flippers, I might change my mind and head over to Ice Palace. I'd probably still check Checkerboard Cave. Yeah,
that's really interesting now that Michael decided to just completely forgo even looking to see what Zora's Ledge item was, because Zora's Ledge is very much in logic at this point.
Now the book, what was on the Ether tablet that was important?
The Ether tablet had...
Mirror. Oh yeah. I guess we are... Yeah. That is true. We haven't found anything at the mirror spots that's required. Huh. So the Titan's mitts were just kind of giving you the good old-fashioned middle finger.
Yeah.
I mean, they have
interesting. It is interesting though. The only thing that would make the mirror required at this point is if there is an item in Swamp.
Right, and nobody wants to know that. Under this particular set of circumstances, if I were forced to go into Swamp, I would bet against left side.
For sure. And at this point, our runners are really just looking for the cane and that fire rod. So only 2 items left for go mode.
So I ran the numbers on this, found out if you get the hook shot after you get all the other items for Swamp, the left side is roughly 50% more likely to contain an item than otherwise.
Yeah, that is very interesting. And the Swamp play, I think, just really comes down to how many items are you still looking for. If it's just 1 or 2, yeah, skip that left side, just go straight to the back, and hope you find what you're looking for. But it can be very dangerous leaving that left side unexplored.
And a very nicely done Stalfos room. And we will be getting the bomb jump mainly because a complete lack of Cane of Samaria. We are getting another fake flipper from Michael K here, checking the island, and then it looks like Michael will be joining Loonycloud in Ice Palace.
Yeah, in his mind, sequence breaking it, but as we know, flippers are available.
So this could turn out to be a pretty good play for Michael. Especially if Kane is in here.
Yeah, anything that gets him closer to go mode that he can find in this dungeon will be huge for him.
Of course, if Swamp ends up being required, then you're going to need those flippers either way.
Loonycloud electing to take sort of the back entrance here, heading towards the iced tea room.
Yep. So the reason you do the bomb jump when you don't have the cane is because there's nothing to hold down that switch otherwise. But when you do have the cane, it's actually not really that much faster to do the bomb jump. If you're going to full clear the dungeon anyway.
Yeah, of course.
If
Muscle
slower.
Right. Muscle memory being what it is.
Oh, there's the fire rod in Ice Palace.
Yeah.
As we stated before, once we got that Bombos medallion, fire rod in ice could be a thing. Turns out it is a thing.
So that means Skullwood's now completable.
Okay, so interesting thing. Loonycloud activated that switch to head up here to this door on the right. Turns out you don't have to do that. That door's just open.
Yeah, normally if you're coming from the iced tea room, in a lot of routing situations, you've already done this side, and you're heading back over to the freezer room. So maybe just a little bit of muscle memory there for him coming out of that iced tea room.
And Michael pulls off the bomb jump, no problem. Maybe a little problem, but not that much. And we've got a shovel.
Ooh, so that's our third item here from Ice Palace. It looks like Loonycloud making that realization now. He's gonna head straight for Cold Stare.
We'll be piecing directly out. Probably spawn the chest anyway. Get that big key. So there's 3 items in Ice Palace. We found the shovel. We found the fire rod. And wasn't there some item in the first chest?
Yes, the first chest had a piece of heart.
Right. Of course, Michael is going to have to go down to Ice Tea Room first. The silvers were in the Hookshot Cave.
Yep. Yeah, Michael, the way he's routed this is probably going to be checking pretty much every chest, so maybe a little bit of time lost on Looney there, but
We've got Butter Sword, Red Mail, and Fire Rod. I think the Cold Stare fight is going to go okay. What do you think?
I don't know. Oh, I don't know. Loonycloud makes it look easy, though, so...
Yeah, if it turns out the Cane of Samaria is back on Mothula, then we could have ourselves a go mode situation for Michael here in a little
Yeah.
bit. And he may skip the silver arrows.
It's certainly a possibility. With the gold sword, maybe a little less detrimental, but it's almost certainly going to take longer doing Ganon silverless.
Got to get those spins. Loonycloud looks like they're having more controller issues right now.
It's definitely unfortunate. You never want to see hardware issues like that have any factor in a race like this.
But if they're going to shut it down, they're definitely going to want to get some way to control this game so they can save it. There we go. So we may be doing some controller configuration over on Loonycloud's stream for a bit. Get a select. If we can get a proper save and quit here, then perhaps we can really salvage this. There we go. Proper save and quit acquired. Now the true fix can begin. It's very unfortunate when controller issues happen.
Speaking from very recent personal experience, I agree.
Michael is going to go get some health before heading down to Cold Stare. Looks like Looney is back on the case.
I think maybe Michael forgetting that he has that powder now. Could have just used it on the anti-fairy there. Does get fully healed before heading down to Cold Stare, though. Now, I believe they only found one item on their first trip here into Skull Woods, correct?
I believe you are correct. So there could still be an item on Mothula or in the chest near Mothula.
They'll be hoping it's there, but if not, do you make the gamble? Do you just head down to Misery Mire and hope that it's Cane's in its vanilla spot?
I'm going to say yes. And if it fails, I go to the green pendant and check that. And then if that fails, I go to Swamp. Because Swamp can go jump off a bridge. I don't have rage problems. I don't know what you're talking about.
Swamp seems to do that to people.
I actually like what Loonycloud did there, making sure that Mini Moldorm can't troll you.
Yeah, don't need to really conserve magic here. Got the Butter Sword. Mothula should be a fairly simple fight.
One thing you want to make sure to do is don't do spins with the tempered sword, or the gold sword, or either of those.
Yep, does not provide you any extra benefit, so just
Actually,
four
provides
slashes
you
there.
complete detriment because he doesn't take damage from spins from either the tempered or the butter sword.
Oh, that's true, yeah. So, very simply done by Loonycloud there. Michael K, hot on his heels. One more chest left here in the back of Skull Woods.
I imagine we'll see a save and quit probably right after this. Oh, never mind. We're going to see a mirror because it's the big key.
Because of course it would be.
That's how it works.
Michael K gonna have to switch over to his lamp. Does have the blue potion, so can use that, but he probably would rather not.
And Loonycloud just doing the old school access to the big chest with a big old 20.
All right, let's see what he decides to do. Is he going to make the gamble? He's going to check Shovel first. Of course, finding that nice palace.
All right, time to dig it up. Just a 10 arrows. Looks like Swamp may be the play. So you might go for Mire. Oh, Loonycloud checking Ice Rod Cave.
Yeah, he hasn't done this, nor any of the Lake Hylia Zora's Domain checks either.
Yeah, that does seem like it might be in his future.
And important to note that we still don't know what's on Zora's Ledge, because Michael K chose not to even glance in that direction when he went up there.
Yeah, I do kind of want to see what that ledge item is.
If it does end up being Kane, that would actually be pretty bad for Michael, considering he has pretty much fully cleared that area aside from Zora Ledge.
There is that. Not just a heart container today. So Michael dodging a bullet there.
And Michael gets his big 20. And I don't believe he checked any... I can't recall if he went over to Graveyard Ledge and King's Tomb. So that might be what he's doing now.
Yeah, I imagine so. Well, maybe not. Maybe we'll be doing the blacksmith peg cave purple chest stuff.
Yeah,
All
and
right.
Loonycloud. If he's doing what I think he's doing, this could be big.
We're going for Vanilla Cane. Use the Quake Medallion here to open up Misery Mire. This being one of the other things that's randomized again in this. They started randomizing the medallions pretty early on. And in fact, in the logic, I believe the medallions are the first thing that gets decided.
Yep. So it can sometimes be a little bit of a hunt around for those items. In this case, our runners were able to find all three, so it ends up not being a huge deal.
So you need the hammer to knock down the hammer pegs. You also need the Titan's mitts just to get there. Alright, so there's the big key on the bridge, which you only get when you're not in go mode. That is how that works.
Yep, and Michael, checking out Mireshed, will get his flippers. And be curious to see what he does once he checked these locations here. Does he also make the gamble for Misery Mire, Red Cane?
It's possible. We may see the checkerboard cave check first, but after that, it's anybody's guess. Small key once again, so that means Loonycloud will more than likely be checking the left side here. We'll be getting our cutscene room shortly. Unless Kane is in this chest right above here.
Yeah, if the...
And
wow.
it is! Oh my goodness! Michael also making the dip for the cane.
Oh, wow, this is interesting.
We have ourselves a race, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm curious about what is Loonycloud just grabbing it. Okay. Wanted to refill on magic there. Remembering the big green potion. Green pot item there.
Did you see what Michael just did in that room?
I believe he used...
So he used the Quake Medallion to kill the Wizrobes. Which you have to do at the exact right time when they're all available. That was kind of interesting.
Yeah, I caught the tail end of it, but yeah, very interesting strategy, that room.
Very neat.
That is one of the more interesting rooms in the game, just to see how different runners handle it. So many different potential strategies. And yeah, Michael's play into Ice Palace, the fake flippering in there, and then heading here into Misery Mire, I think is really going to pay off for him. I think he was pretty decidedly behind at certain points of this race, but those two plays have caught him up. We've been talking about silvers, Michael not having silvers for the Ganon fight, but it's actually going to also make his Vitreous fight a lot more harrowing. Butters will mitigate that somewhat, but even still, silverless Vitreous is never much fun.
Yeah. So Loonycloud gonna take care of Vitreous in no time at all. Buttersword will make it, as you said, a little easier for Michael, but it is a non-trivial difference. And it looks like it's time for everybody's favorite big key guessing game. We've got 22 locations in Ganon's Tower where the big key can be, and one of those locations will have it. So put your numbers in 1 to 22, and you can play the game along with us. If you have donated 250 bits or have subscribed to one of the Speed Gaming channels, you can be added to our leaderboard. And there we go. So, where do you think it's going to be, Jay Meisher?
I've been saying 7 for the most part this tournament. I'm gonna mix up a little bit. And I will say it'll be chest number 11.
Chest number 11, you say? All right. Thank you to Level Up Inc. for that bits. All right, my traditional guess is, of course, 14 on account of it being Bob's chest, because, come on. Who you
Tell you what, I've seen plenty of Bob's chest big keys this tournament, so you very well could be right.
Yep. All right, so Loonycloud going directly to Ganon's Tower. Do not pass go. Do not collect 200 rupees.
And Michael K going to be getting his Vitreous fight here. Right as Loonycloud heads up those steps.
Gonna make use of some health potions here. Having a little bit of trouble taking care of the Vitreous fight, but you know what? He's just gonna tank it out.
Oh, wow.
Big key in chest number 1, ladies and gentlemen.
Were there any kind souls who guessed 1?
There were a few. Congratulations to Larafe. I have no idea. I'm sorry.
Might be close enough. But yeah, just a really friendly placement for that. And I would say this seed kind of overall has been pretty friendly, aside from that midst location being kind of a trolley spot. It's been very kind to our runners.
Yep, if you'd have made the Agnes Cave Gambit early on, you would have been extremely happy with this seed.
Yeah, both the runners are going to be on pace for a very, very nice time here.
All right, Loonycloud taking care of the gauntlet, using a few pots to throw at some Zazacs here. I always find it fun that the gauntlet here consists of the the two types of enemy that have the most RNG to their movements.
Yeah, it seems like maybe a little bit of a deliberate choice there. Just want to spice things up here for the end.
Loonycloud attempting silver strats on these landmollas here. In a little trouble, and so resorting to Butter Sword, which will take him down in 2 hits, while Michael is heading into Ganon's tower right now.
Oh, Michael not checking the right side first.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Maybe we'll get some DM strats?
Oh, this is going to cost him a pretty significant amount of time here.
There's the ice rod. Yeah, I kind of expected DM strats when he didn't kill the enemies. So this is good. He's going to at least get the big key on the right side right now.
Okay. So it doesn't end up hurting him too much, but it does lose him a little bit of time on Looney.
Loonycloud picking up that magic refill just before Trolldorm 2. I don't really see any reason why you'd want to be opening chests at this point.
Yeah, he's more than well equipped at this point.
Oh,
Trolldorm.
and he gets trolled.
Trolldorm living up to his name.
Trolldorm gonna troll, ladies and gentlemen.
Maybe a little bit of the nerfs here coming in. You know, you're right here at the end. You don't know if you're ahead or behind. And Loonycloud does take one fall, gets Trolldorm on the second attempt.
Michael is taking the safety room. Don't blame him on account of not having very much health. It is true, the dungeon is Trolldorm locked. Right, that's a 1 on Agate 2 for the first phase. This looks like it could be a double, except the blue ball happened.
Yeah, Aghanim not playing very nice with some of these angles here.
It's another 1. I find I'm okay with myself if I get 1 per round.
Yeah, you know. And then you get that double and you feel real good good about yourself, so.
Exactly. There we go. Loonycloud finishing off Agate 2. Then we head to Ganon. Ganon should be a pretty straightforward fight, as long as those controller issues don't come back to haunt us.
Yeah, gold sword, silver arrows. This should be a pretty easy fight for Loonycloud.
And we're in phase 2. Loonycloud gonna apply some hookshot strats. That's probably, I believe, enough to reach phase 3. No problem.
Yeah,
There we
you
go.
you can see just how much having that gold sword helps. Gets you through those first 2 phases, which are going to be the toughest for you, really quick.
We sure did find the arrows in the dark world. No torch glitch, but no problem for the silver arrow fight. That, I believe, was just 1.
It did not quite get that second arrow in time to get the double.
But this should do it. There we go. Loonycloud finishes off Ganon right as Michael is about to hit the Trolldorm 2 fight. I don't think you can feel bad about finishing that close.
Absolutely not. This is a fantastic race. Ended up being really close in the end, despite some pretty significant route divergence from our runners. But GG's to Loonycloud, finishing with an unofficial time of 1 hour, 41 minutes, and 40 seconds.
Well done. Sub 145 is pretty good. And Loonycloud will be joining us after taking care of some business.
In the meantime, we'll get a chance to watch Michael finish off his Ganon's Tower with Agate 2. Just misses the double there on the first one.
And there we go. There's a double.
Just needs 1 more.
Well done. And now Michael will approach the silverless Butter Ganon fight. Michael K doing the silverless or the butter fight, doing pretty well here. Gonna apply some sword to pig and make it to phase 3 no problem. Now phase 4 is where the real challenge of the silverless fight comes in.
Yep, he'll definitely be wanting to get that torch glitch, lighting the left torch before the right one goes out, which will cause the right torch to stay lit permanently. Kind of a key component of the silverless fight, because you definitely do not want to be having to light both torches.
There we go. Gets it with the lamp, no problem. Should be able to get 2 hits per phase here. Oh no!
Oh, that's just tough. Tried to get the torch lit, but unfortunately missed his first shot with the fire rod. Allowed Ganon to get off the fire bat and knocked him down. Luckily for Michael, I believe he still has his blue potion that he found earlier. if I'm not mistaken. I didn't see him use it.
Yeah, I think we'll still be okay here. The fairy friend is sleeping again. All right. And it looks like we are now joined in chat by our winner, Loonycloud87. Loonycloud, how you doing? GG.
We'll give him a sec here. Yeah, getting his mic set up.
All right. We see Michael going back to Phase 4 Silverless. So hopefully this will work out a little better than last time.
Hello?
Hello, Loonycloud87. How you doing?
That was something.
Yeah, it looked like you were experiencing some controller issues in the middle of that run.
Yes, it disconnected a couple of times.
Well, I can definitely sympathize. Had some of those myself, my race yesterday, but you acquitted yourself well even through all of that. So very well done.
Yes, I think I would have lost my mind if I hadn't found that book so early, which were really paid off.
Yeah, I mean, that got you the mirror. I think it turned out that the mirror wasn't actually required for anything, though.
That's possible, but it should have sped up some of the checks I did.
Right, definitely. You got a much faster routing because of that. And Michael just finished, or just took down Ganon. Didn't find the silvers. And looks like we are joined as well by Michael K, or Michael, as you might pronounce it. Congratulations on finishing. Looks like the microphone is not working, so we will be talking to Michael here in a bit. So Loonycloud, what was your? So you definitely found the book early. The Pyramid Fairy being open so early was kind of ridiculous, right?
Yes, and the joke is actually that I started to call her Disappointment Fairy right before this run, but now she gave me something great.
Yep, pretty great indeed. How about that cane?
Ah, yes, I totally misplayed that. I think I should have checked Maya much earlier just to see if it is in there, and then do all the overworld checks I did.
Yeah, I mean, I made the same play during my race the other day. It's not hard to just say, no, I don't want to go into mire yet.
Yeah, I would say especially with so many overworld locations that hadn't been checked yet, and even been over to the Zora's domain at that point, I don't believe. So definitely understandable that you want to make those checks before, hoping that one of the two items in Mire was that cane, but it ended up being.
So, Michael, is your microphone working yet?
It looks like it. So
Sounds like it as well.
Yeah, perfect.
Welcome and congratulations on finishing.
Yeah, thanks. Congratulations, Loonycloud, for winning.
Good game.
Yeah, it was a well-played match on both sides. The game kind of gave you the butter sword pretty early. The silvers did elude Michael, but it wasn't it wasn't necessarily a place you were going to go. They were in the Hookshot Cave.
Ooh, yeah, of course I would go there. I was go more when I got access there. So yeah.
And of course, the cane being in its vanilla location can always troll you. Or its vanilla dungeon.
My last tourney race was I just rode on Laser Bridge, so I expected it somewhat.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, we kind of figured we saw you, fake flipper into Ice Palace, go to Misery Mire pretty soon afterwards. I think you did a couple other checks and finished Skull Woods, but definitely seemed like you were focused on getting those required dungeons out of the way as soon as possible.
Yeah, I saw only 2 items missing after the Myths, Fire Rod, and Cane, and so yeah, just go ahead and do the dungeons you can. You might find the items along the way.
It's a perfectly reasonable line of thought. So let's talk about those myths for a second. Oh, so I thought you guys were doing great. You had some excellent routes and you got all these cool things, and toward the end things just weren't coming up, and it was all based on the assumption that the myths were not available, and they were available. That's going to throw your routing off just completely when you see, oh, the myths have been available the whole time.
Yeah, it was funny to see them. Who found them first?
I think it was you, Looney. But not by much.
Yes, I think they. Yes, we must have found them with the Desert Palace check, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say at that point, Michael, you were about a dungeon behind Looney. So yeah, you came out of there just a few minutes after Looney had searched that location.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Sounds like a race I really need to watch again.
So Loonycloud had a interesting strategy early on, basically doing sort of the minimalistic Sphere 1 check, as I would call it, being like not check Iceroid Cave, not check Agina's Cave, just go to the high chest density locations, and it mostly worked out except for Agina's Cave.
Did something similar, just that I included Facts of the Hobo and Iceroid Cave.
Right. The hobo had another bottle, so Michael got that one.
And I think on Pet was the last bottle?
Yep, Pedestal was in fact the last bottle. We did see you check that in the middle of the race. It was a perfectly fine thing to do at the time.
No, it wasn't me. Looney must have checked it.
Sorry, yeah. I thought I was talking to you. I'm sorry.
Yes, I kind of wanted to get that troll location out of the way.
Yeah. Now, I think between the two runners, we had figured out that Pedestal wasn't going to be required at that point, but I think it was still, on the table for you. So, yeah. Anyway, very well played race. Extremely respectable times for both players here. Like, this is better than I've done in V29. Easily.
Yeah, it was a PB for me by 32 minutes.
Whoa.
I guess the Mire play was kind of helping.
Yeah, the Mire play was pretty solid. Only thing that could have made that easier for you were those silver arrows.
At that point, I was pretty set on Gold Sword Ganon.
Yeah, and Gold Sword Silverless is pretty fine. It's not the best thing, but you can do it.
Yeah.
All right, so once again, congratulations to both runners, and good luck in the next round to both of you. Is there anything else you'd like to say about this seed before we wrap things up today?
Not from my side.
No, I don't have anything about that seed either.
All right. So once again, thank you both for running and showing off your talents today, and also thank you to our tracker, Dark Replica, for keeping track of all the action and the items on the screen, so all of our viewers could have a seamless viewing experience. And of course, thank you to my co-commentator Jay Meisher for putting up with me today.
Absolutely, it's been a blast.
All right. And with that, I think it's about time to wrap things up. So I will just say that I have been Dr. Bobtastic.
I've been Jay Meisher.
And we'll see you later, everybody.